to Moratuwa or for the whole university system, they are extremely good. They are very intelligent. They are very capable. I mean, I would be quite honest if I say that they are much more talented today's students than when we entered universities. They are multi-talented. They are very capable. They are very motivated. So that student needs to be shown that what industry expects or society expects from a graduate. That message doesn't come through. So we started this mentoring program at the second year. It was actually developed at the University of Colombo, which we then borrowed from them. It was developed by Dr. Kirti Premdas when he was in charge of career guidance, which we borrowed, where we have a 4-month structured program. We have eminent people from industry, from society actually, HR people. We have even a former assistant governor of the central bank who is one of our mentors. So we give 10 students to these mentors who tell students through a structured program of what society expects from a graduate when they come out. And one of the important features of this is the closing ceremony of this program should be at a 5-star hotel, because for a lot of students it is their first visit to a 5-star hotel, and because sometimes we expect the graduates to come out and know all these things that society expects, but they never even gone to a 5-star hotel. So these are realities that we have to face in today's society.
Right. So this is under the student based.
So this is another one. Then we have career guidance. We have another very important thing, for example, at the University of Moratuwa is what we call University Department Industry Consultative Boards. Every department, every study program must have a Department Industry Consultative Board which meets every 3 months, where selected very keen industry people are part of this board along with the university faculty, where industry says these are the things that we would like our students to have. It is not to say that we accept everything that industry says, but 3 months hence the head of department comes and says what we have done or what we didn't do, and that dialogue is very important. So that comes in for our career curriculum revision. Now, for example, curriculum revision is something all the universities in Sri Lanka take very seriously. If I am not wrong, now at Moratuwa we do every 3 years, and most universities every 3 years a major curriculum revision is done. In between, minor revisions are done. So sometimes you hear people saying the answer to all this problem is to revise the curriculum. No, our curriculums are all updated. They are as good, or they are on par with all international programs. So these things do happen, and there is a lot of discussion going on with industry. Now this is a thing that we have found to be very useful, and I know some of the other universities are also looking at this very seriously, to have department industry consultative boards. Then industry takes ownership of the ideas. They give views, they see that results are come. Sometimes they come in when we need funding for programs, they are funded.
This also comes under the student-based.
Student-based things, yeah. So all of these things contribute at the end of the day, where the graduate who comes out tends to have the characteristics, if you want, that the industry is looking for. The proper attitudes, the mentoring program instills in them. Then the English part, the communication part, the soft skills, all which are very important. Then the message comes through. Now, for example, we have a careers week at University of Moratuwa, which culminates in a program called Are You Ready? It's in the final year, where it's organized by the third year students for the final year students. And every student who requests gets a mock interview by an actual panel from industry. We started in that context, but now it has developed to a point where it has become a whole careers week, and a lot of recruitment happened during that week.
Right.
If you don't recruit at that point, you might not get the students when they pass out.
Right. So, Professor, we will take a small break and we will be back with you soon. Stay with us.
This special program is going to be a platform for health, diseases and things which are related to day-to-day life.
not our fault. No, that's our fault. Harlem Rock every Saturday, 6 p.m.
Welcome back. You're watching Roundtable and we are with Professor Malik Ranasinghe. He is the Vice Chancellor of the University of Moratuwa. So we just talked about the University of Moratuwa being the only technological universities with especially the faculties of engineering and architecture and information technology. And also the professor said that the vision was producing world-class graduates, meaning that our graduates are second to none and they can compete and perform in the same way that all other graduates can, and getting them to believe that it is a reality and it's not utopian. So on the same note, we also talk about a very important phrase. That was how the universities should produce employable graduate. So the key phrase professor used was the link between the industry and the universities. Now we were elaborating on the link between the universities and the industry, and he described 3 sections. One was student based, the second was research and development, and the third one was consultancy. We were on the first point, and that was student based, where we talked about many opportunities like industry-based learning, curriculum revision, then with the department and industry consultations, a career week and career guidance, and also we can continue from there, Professor. Yes.
Another important thing that which is not recognized is the visiting lecturers. I mean, it is something that is all universities do. We get eminent people from industry to come into universities and help us with our lectures. It is seen as a way by which we cover the gaps that we want. It is not only that. We need to continue, even if we are fully staffed, we still need to get a lot of visiting lecturers to come in, because that specialized knowledge is out there in industry. And when visiting lecturers come to the universities, that's a very important way by these university industry linkages happen. So one should view visiting lecturers not just as a measure by which we cover our gaps when we don't have staff, but a way by we can develop these linkages, getting the current practice, the practical aspects to come into all programs. So even if it is humanities based, I think there should be a lot of visiting lecturers coming in, helping and working with the departments.
Bringing the knowledge from the industry.
A good example is the Faculty of Architecture, where the teaching method is almost one-on-one. It's a unique system that they have. They get all the eminent architects to come in and they do what is known as critiquing. Critiquing is basically a constructive criticism of the work done by the student. So we have very big architects in the country coming in, spending about half a day at the university, telling students how they could improve this. And that's a unique way of teaching, which is the way the architects are trained. But where this whole concept of visiting lecturers is taken to an they play as big a role as our own internal lecturers in this process.
And I guess it must be also helping to the curricular development as well, because they're mingling continuously.
Definitely. And that's a very important part that happens. And again, because architecture, though we call it technology, is a very much humanities, arts-based, design-based subject. So there are a lot of lessons that the other fields can learn in bringing in the professionals to the university.
Okay, Professor. So now let's move on to the other section where we were referring to research and development and knowledge transfer.
Right. Now, of course, research and development is a part of all universities where we are
Smart Recharge Bonanza from Mobitel. Dial #151# to enter.
Projects are happening in all the universities. But one of the problems that we see is that new ideas come, work is happening, but we find it very difficult to